Hey guys, tonight we begin with something so simple, it's easy to skip it entirely, your breath. That quiet, persistent pulse that never really asks for attention until now. Tonight, we're going to treat it like royalty. Inhale, exhale, and suddenly, you've already started. You're already inside the moment. Picture this, it's late, your room is dimly lit, the corners are hushed, and outside there's only the occasional passing car or the low hum of a distant AC unit. Maybe your body feels like it's been carved from email stress and held tension. Your jaw's been clenched since lunch. Your shoulders? They've been holding up the weight of 10 unspoken things all day. Well, you made it here. And I promise tonight, your only job is to breathe. You inhale slowly. You exhale even slower. That's it. That's the first pose. No downward dog, no complicated Sanskrit. Just breath. Just presence. Oh, and let's get one thing straight, you probably won't survive this week, month, or year with your sanity intact unless you find little moments like this one. Moments where the outside world has no say. Where even your notifications sigh and say, okay, fine, we'll wait. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Also, let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is right now. I love seeing how far this sleepy little yoga caravan reaches. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You settle onto your mat or bed or patch of carpet. Anywhere soft will do. Close your eyes. Let the eyelids fall like curtains in a room that's already warm. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. Now breathe like you're trying to make your hands rise and fall as slowly as melting chocolate. Feel the air enter through your nose, cool, quiet. It slides down your throat, fills your lungs. Your ribs expand, like wings opening from under your skin. And then the release. A long, lazy exhale through the mouth. Like blowing out a candle on a cake you forgot to wish on. Ancient yogis called this awareness of breath pranayama, not just breathing, but mastering the life force itself. And while the phrase life force sounds like something from a 1980s cartoon, it turns out they were onto something. Breathing this way actually slows your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, and quiets that inner narrator who keeps interrupting your peace with headlines and laundry lists. Historians still argue whether ancient pranayama was meant solely for meditation or if it evolved from early martial breathwork traditions. Either way, it was always sacred. A kind of holy stillness with lungs. You begin to breathe in counts. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Like waves. Like something ancient and tidal that doesn't need your permission to be perfect. Now bring your attention to the back of your neck. Let it soften. There's nothing to hold up anymore. Your head can relax into gravity. Imagine your brain sliding back into a cushion made of fog and lavender and absolutely zero spreadsheets. Fun fact: did you know ancient Egyptian pharaohs used sleep breath rituals and cedar oil for nighttime stillness? Granted, they also believed dreams were messages from gods and occasionally put crocodile dung in their cosmetics, but hey, the relaxation part still tracks. You shift slightly, letting your shoulders fall a little heavier. Your arms lie beside you like they've finally stopped volunteering for things. The chest rises. The chest falls. You're not just breathing now, you're surfing it. There's a moment right between inhale and exhale that feels like a pause in time. A suspended second where nothing moves. You linger there. Just long enough to remember what stillness tastes like. And then something almost silly happens. You yawn. Maybe even stretch a little. That yawn is your body's way of saying, yes, this is exactly what I needed. It's not weakness, it's surrender. And it's beautiful. Let's check in with your jaw now. Is it still trying to win a clenching competition? Unhook it. Let your tongue drop from the roof of your mouth. Soften behind the eyes. Imagine your whole face drooping like warm clay. You are now, officially, doing yoga. And if some flexible internet person told you otherwise, well, you can send them this video. Your breathing finds its own rhythm now. You don't need to count anymore. It's become background music. A lullaby only your lungs can hear. You stay here a while. Resting. Settling. The breath becomes the room. And the room becomes your breath. That's how it works. You know this whole cycle of inhale and exhale that quietly reminds you, you're still here. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to do less. Somewhere in the distance, someone's scrolling through socials, someone's doing their taxes, someone's arguing on the internet. But not you. Not tonight. Tonight, you're breathing. You probably won't remember the exact moment you shifted from doing yoga to simply being. But you'll feel it. It's already starting. Breath by breath. Your breath is steady now, like a pendulum gently rocking inside your chest. We start to move not in a big, dramatic way, but more like easing into a sweater that's just warm enough. You tilt your head slowly to one side, like you're listening for a compliment that might never come. The neck, stubborn from a day of uprightness, resists for a second, and then gives in. You're not forcing, just inviting. You roll your head forward, chin to chest. Let gravity do the heavy lifting. Now over to the other side. The air feels cooler on your neck, almost like you've cracked open a window that's only letting in stillness. Your shoulders are next. Remember those? You probably loaded them with more today than you realized. A grocery bag here, a sigh there, maybe an eye roll or two. Start to roll them backward in slow circles. Up, back, down, forward. Again. Then the other way. Here's the thing, shoulders don't just carry weight. They carry emotion. Stress huddles there like it's renting space. And tonight? We're evicting it. Historically speaking, shoulder tension has been a literal weight to bear. Medieval scribes often suffered upper body strain from hours hunched over parchment. Some even developed something called scribe's shoulder. No amount of feather quills or illuminated manuscripts could fix that. You pause, letting both shoulders drop. Imagine them puddling beside you like two soft rocks. It's okay to be heavy sometimes. Heavy means grounded. You raise your arms now just a little and shrug them. Exaggerated. Dramatic. Like you're telling the day, I don't care anymore. Then you let them fall, floppy and loose. Feel that ripple of release? That's called winning. Now bring your attention to your face again. Furrow your brow like you're confused by a squirrel doing taxes. Hold it. Really scrunch. And then, let it go. Smooth the forehead. Feel how good that contrast is? That's your nervous system sighing with relief. Tilt the chin slightly up now. Gently, no heroics. Open the front of your throat. Let your breath move across the collarbones. You are exposing nothing, just letting a little more air in. No shields necessary. A quirky little tidbit: in 17th century England, people believed neck stiffness could be cured by wrapping a warmed cabbage leaf around the area. Not the most spa-like solution, but hey, if it worked for them. You circle your wrists slowly now. One direction, then the other. No rush. They've scrolled, typed, stirred, and maybe even clenched into tiny, invisible fists of micro-defiance today. Let them soften. Uncurl your fingers like you're letting go of something metaphorical and petty. You shift slightly to one side. Use a hand to support yourself, maybe place a cushion under your sit bones. The point here isn't perfection, it's permission. Permission to move with curiosity instead of critique. Now reach one arm over your head, side bend. The kind that looks graceful on Instagram but feels like effort in real life. You lean gently, letting your ribs open like blinds at sunset. Then switch sides. Notice the difference. One might feel tighter. That's okay. This isn't a competition. It's a gentle reminder that you have sides. Historians still argue whether early yoga was created purely for meditation or as a physical discipline to prepare warriors and monks. What's clear is that every culture has some form of shoulder and neck release. Even ancient Chinese Qigong includes movements for softening this upper region of tension. You circle back to center. Shoulders relaxed. Neck long. Breath deep. You're doing so little, and yet your nervous system is throwing a tiny parade. You might even feel a tingling down your arms. That's your body waking up to how good rest can feel when it's earned through attention, not exertion. You begin tiny micro movements now. A little sway side to side. A nod. Maybe a small shake of the head like you're finally saying no thanks to the day's leftover drama. Each motion is like wiping fog off a mirror, clearing space just to see yourself more kindly. Let your arms float up, then back down. Like they're rising from a lake of warm tea and drifting in slow motion. You might feel silly. That's great. Silly means free. As you pause, feel the full weight of your head again. It holds so many thoughts, names, to-do lists, songs you didn't mean to memorize. And right now? It's floating, supported by a neck that's no longer trying to fix everything. You tilt the head one more time. Slower now. With reverence. Because this isn't about stretching, it's about acknowledging that even the smallest part of you deserves attention. The ancient Romans believed that tension in the shoulders was a sign of poor moral character. Stiffness was seen as a failure to live in harmony with one's duties. A weird take, but maybe they had a point. Maybe relaxing your shoulders is, in a small way, a moral act. A return to yourself. The breath continues. Inhale, shoulders rise just a bit. Exhale, they fall again. Like waves washing up on your collarbones. There's no rush to move forward. Time is sticky here. Slow. Honeyed. And you still here, still softening, still beginning. Your shoulders feel like they've melted into butter, and your breath has turned into a metronome of calm. So now, we wander downward toward your spine. That long, twisting tail of a thing that has quietly kept you upright through every argument, deadline, and I'm fine when you definitely weren't. You start seated, legs crossed, or stretched long in front of you, whatever feels more end of day than Instagram post. You plant one hand behind you like a kickstand and bring the other to rest lightly on your opposite knee. With a slow inhale, you lengthen your spine like a sleepy cat standing up. And as you exhale, you begin to twist gently, kindly, like you're wringing out a dish rag full of nonsense. Your gaze drifts over your back shoulder. Not sharp, not forced. Just enough to whisper to your spine, hey, remember flexibility? Yeah, we're friends again. Twisting in yoga is ancient, practiced for thousands of years, not just to limber up, but to aid digestion. In fact, early yogis believed spinal twists could literally squeeze out emotional residue. You're basically a human sponge being reset. Historians still argue whether twisting poses were initially used in ceremonial rituals or daily spiritual hygiene. What's certain is this: spinal movement is sacred. It's the body's reset button. Now switch sides. Inhale tall, like someone just complimented your posture. Exhale into the twist. This time it feels different, not better, not worse. Just different. One side always carries a little more of today. Let's explore that difference for a second. Your spine isn't a single bone, it's 33 vertebrae, stacked like soft Jenga blocks, connected by fluid, muscle, and memory. And between each bone? A little cushion. Tonight, those cushions are sighing with relief. Now release. Come back to center. Take a breath so slow it feels like a sigh that got distracted halfway through. You're going to begin moving in small, circular seated motions now. These are called Sufi rolls, named after ancient mystic practices where movement became meditation. Start clockwise. Inhale as you lean forward. Exhale as you round back. Like you're drawing soft spirals with your nose and your heart. And no, you're not doing it wrong if your back creaks a little, that's just your spine speaking whale. You keep moving, circles growing smaller or wider as your body suggests. Then switch directions. Anti-clockwise now. And doesn't that side feel just a little less coordinated? That's okay. Your body is allowed to be asymmetrical, it's got personality. You pause and center. Let the spine settle. Feel how much more alive it is now. How it hums underneath your skin like a coiled river. Fun fact: there's an Old Norse belief that the spine housed not just your physical strength but your spiritual power. Warriors would ritually stretch their backs before battle, believing it awakened the serpent of wisdom curled at the base of the spine. Metal, and oddly poetic. Next, you slide onto all fours for cat-cow. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. On your inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, and tilt your tailbone up. This is cow pose, not glamorous, but strangely satisfying. On your exhale, round your spine like an angry Halloween cat. Tuck the chin. Arch the back. Repeat slowly. No need to rush. You are no longer on the clock. Each inhale, your spine becomes a gentle wave cresting. Each exhale, it folds inward like a secret being kept. And yes, you're allowed to close your eyes. In fact, I recommend it. Feel every notch of your spine move with you. Think of it as oiling joints that have rusted from too much reality. Historians still argue if cat-cow comes from ancient Indian Vinyasa traditions or was adapted later by Western practitioners, but regardless, it's endured because it feels that good. You don't need a reason. Just a breath. You slowly sit back on your heels, pausing in child's pose for a few moments. Let your spine stretch long. Arms out, or tucked by your sides. Forehead kisses the mat, or a pillow, or your bedspread. Whatever surface is softest. This is surrender, not in a weak way, but in the I'm no longer fighting gravity kind of way. Let your breath flow from tailbone to crown. A lazy, warm current traveling the whole river of your back. You are both grounded and growing at once. From here, gently roll up, one vertebra at a time. Like a stack of coins rising. No rush. Your spine remembers how to lift itself without your shoulders trying to help. You sit tall again. Maybe place your hands behind you, fingertips pointing back, and lift your chest to the ceiling. A mini back bend. Chin lifts. Eyes closed. This is your soft heart opener, and it's as dramatic or delicate as you want it to be. Did you know that in ancient Japanese shiatsu, spinal health was believed to reflect the condition of the soul? Each knot, each ache, had a corresponding emotional echo. You lower back down. Rest again. Spine neutral. Breath flowing. You've just done more for your nervous system than 1,000 doom scrolls could ever undo. And the best part? There's no after to prepare for. You're not doing this for ABS or gains or clout. You're doing this because it feels like home. So breathe again. Let the air travel through the tunnel of your spine, clearing out the cobwebs, memories, and metaphorical junk mail. You're more aligned than you were 10 minutes ago. And all you did was move like honey. You're upright now, seated or kneeling, whatever your body prefers tonight. The spine is tall, but not military stiff, more like a stalk of wheat in a gentle breeze. Rooted but soft. Now we bring attention lower, to the hips. The emotional junk drawer of the body. You start by placing the soles of your feet together, letting your knees butterfly open. Bound angle pose, or as I like to call it, oh no, I forgot I have inner thighs pose. Hold your ankles or your shins, whatever lets your shoulders stay chill. Now breathe in, lifting gently through the crown of your head. On the exhale, fold forward just a little. Not a tax audit of a stretch, more like reading a mysterious note left on the floor. Your elbows might press into your thighs, or not. The point isn't depth, it's presence. There's an old Ayurvedic belief that the hips store undigested emotion, especially fear and grief. Every stretch here is like an archaeological dig. You never know what you'll find, but it's probably from your sophomore year. Historians still argue whether yogis developed hip opening postures to help with seated meditation or to assist in childbirth preparation. Either way, these movements were always about opening, not just physically, but emotionally. Come back up slowly. Bring your knees together like you're closing a book you're not quite ready to finish. Now shift onto your hands and knees again. You're going into lizard pose. Step your right foot forward, outside your right hand. Wiggle the back knee a little farther behind you. Welcome to the jungle. You might stay on your palms, or lower to your forearms if the body's in the mood. Either way, the front hip is waking up like a bear after hibernation, grumpy, creaky, but alive. You breathe into the tension. Not to force it away, but to say, yeah, I see you. And you don't get to drive tonight. Quirky tidbit: some ancient cultures believed hip tightness was caused by too much thinking. That's right, analysis paralysis was a literal pain in the butt. You're fixing it with breath and gravity. Switch sides. Left foot forward now. The other hip gets its moment in the spotlight. Notice how this side feels different. Maybe tighter. Maybe easier. Doesn't matter. This isn't a BuzzFeed quiz, you're not being graded. Stay low and breathe. Let your exhales be invitations, not ultimatums. With every out-breath, imagine your hip melting toward the earth, like warm wax sliding down a candle. And remember, your hips are the base of your spine. They're your anchors. The stronger and softer they are, the more freedom your entire body feels. It's paradoxical. But then again, so is putting on pants and not leaving the house. Slowly, step back to all fours and then lower onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side like a sleepy turtle. You've earned this. Now place your feet on the ground, knees bent. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, figure 4. Thread your hands through and gently draw the shape toward your chest. You'll feel this deep in the hip, like finding a hidden room in your house. This pose is passive, but powerful. Your body is learning to receive sensation without running from it. You stay here. Breathing. Listening. Your hip whispers, I've been waiting for this all week. Fun fact, in many tribal dances, hip mobility is celebrated and even spiritual. From West African movements to Polynesian hula, the hips are the rhythm keepers, the body's natural metronome. Switch legs. Left ankle over right knee now. This side might throw more of a tantrum. That's okay. Think of it like a cranky friend who just needs to be heard. You hold, breathe, and notice. No judgment. Just sensation and soft exhale. When you release, let both knees fall open, soleus of the feet together again, this time reclined. Supta Baddha Konasana. Fancy name. Chilled posture. One hand on your belly, one on your chest. This is where the hips fully surrender. Gravity takes over. You do less than nothing. Historians still argue whether restorative yoga postures like this originated from ancient temple practices or were modern additions influenced by Western physiotherapy. Either way, they work. You stay here. Letting your breath fill your palms like balloons. The belly expands. The chest rises. Everything else, let's go. The hips are open now, not like a door flung wide, but like a window cracked enough to let in a breeze. Just enough softness to remind you, you're not stuck. You draw your knees together with your hands. Rock to one side, then gently up to seated. No rush. The floor isn't going anywhere. Take a moment to sit tall again. Cross-legged or however your hips prefer now. Notice the space, the warmth, the quiet rebellion of slowing down. Your hips, your base, your root have just whispered thank you. You're seated now, upright but soft, like a candle that's only half melted. The hips are open, the spine is humming, and now we journey into your shoulders. Those round, knotted little islands where stress tends to throw wild parties. Start by inhaling and lifting both shoulders toward your ears like you're trying to become an elegant little turtle. Hold there, just for a moment. Feel the absurdity of tension. Then exhale, drop them down with a sigh so dramatic it could win an indie film award. Again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Let your breath sound out loud this time. No need to be quiet about releasing the day. That's what bedtime yoga is for. Roll your shoulders back now, big lazy circles. Like you're stirring a giant invisible pot of, I don't know, sleepy vibes? Whatever gets you through. Now forward. But slower. As if your shoulder blades are secret agents trying not to wake the neighbors. Here's a wild historical note. Ancient Roman soldiers were trained to roll their shoulders before battle not just for limbering up, but to project size and presence. Apparently, nothing says don't mess with me like good posture. Historians still argue whether shoulder mobility practices date back to early martial traditions or spiritual rites, but one thing's clear, they've always mattered. Interlace your fingers behind your back now. Palms facing your spine if you can, or not. Doesn't matter. You're not in yoga court. Pull your knuckles down gently as your chest lifts. Feel that spread across the collarbones? That's your heart saying finally. Now tilt your chin upward just slightly. Eyes closed. Breathe into the front of your shoulders. That sneaky tension spot you didn't even realize had been clenched since breakfast. Last week? 5th grade? You gently release. Shake your arms out like wet spaghetti. Give them a little shimmy. You're not ridiculous, you're relaxed. There's a difference. Let's go deeper. Bring your right arm across your chest, left hand guiding it in close. That stretch across the back of the shoulder, that's your posterior deltoid saying, hey, thanks for not abandoning me. Switch sides. Left across right. This one might feel tighter, or looser. Remember, we're all lopsided. Even the Statue of Liberty has a stronger side. Probably from all that torch holding. Let that go. Now, raise your right arm up and bend it behind your head, elbow pointing skyward. Left hand comes up behind to catch the fingers if they reach. If not, you hold your shirt. Or a towel. Or just shrug and smile. You're not applying for Cirque du Soleil. This is cow face arms, named after the snout and ear shape the arms create. Who names these things? Probably someone with a weirdly flexible sense of humor. Historians still argue whether these asymmetrical binds originated from Vedic rituals or theater warm ups. Either way, they make you feel like a swaddled pretzel. Switch sides. Left arm up. Right behind. One side's usually sassy or more reluctant. That's okay. We're not here for balance. We're here for bedtime. Release. Wiggle your fingers like you're shaking off glitter. You probably are. Life throws weird sparkles sometimes. Next, eagle arms. Wrap your right arm under your left, then twist at the elbows and the wrists until the palms meet, or not. Lift the elbows, drop the shoulders. It's like hugging yourself but with choreography. This pose is low-key genius. It stretches your upper back and those deep shoulder stabilizers you didn't even know existed. Now switch. Left under right. The other side of your tangled bird impression. Quirky tidbit, in Tibetan iconography, the eagle symbolizes transcendence, a lifting above the earthly. So, technically, your arms are performing a spiritual aerial maneuver. Release. Let your arms dangle like tired vines. Close your eyes. Notice the tingling, the blood rushing back in like a mini standing ovation. Now clasp your elbows behind your back with both hands. It's a weird move, I know. But your shoulders love it. They get to open wide without any pressure to do it right. Tilt gently forward from the hips, keeping the spine long. The arms rise behind you if they want to. If not, they hang. You're not trying to win yoga tonight, you're just showing up. Stay here for a few breaths. Let gravity be the teacher. Let breath be the applause. Ancient Egyptian dancers often performed shoulder rolls and back bends to honor their sun gods. Even back then, flexibility was divine. You slowly rise up. Unclasp the arms. Notice how they float now, like they've been deflated of all that metaphorical inbox clutter. Let your hands rest on your thighs or knees. Palms up. Eyes soft. And just breathe. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Even that is enough. Your shoulders, once tight and crumpled, are now soft pillows attached to your neck. That's progress. That's bedtime yoga. As you sit there, remember, these joints have carried bags, babies, laptops, tension, and invisible expectations. Tonight, they carry nothing. Not even you. You're being held by the floor, the breath, and this moment. Now that your shoulders are soft, let's talk spine. That long, elegant stack of vertebrae you barely think about until it starts whispering passive-aggressive complaints during Zoom meetings or car rides longer than a Taylor Swift album. Lie down gently on your mat again, knees bent, feet flat, arms by your sides. No need to make this dramatic. You've already made it this far, trust me, this is the part your spine's been waiting for. We begin with gentle pelvic tilts. Inhale and arch your lower back slightly, creating a soft hollow. Exhale and press your lower spine gently into the mat, tucking the pelvis under. Like a sleepy seesaw. You're not trying to break dance, just giving the lumbar curve a little rhythm. Historians still argue whether spinal mobilization originated from ancient martial arts or from temple-based ceremonial dance. Either way, cultures across continents saw the spine not just as anatomy but as a vessel of life force. Now press your feet into the mat and lift your hips up slowly into bridge pose. Just until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Not sky high. You're not building a drawbridge to Narnia. Arms press down. Chin stays tucked. Knees don't splay. You breathe deeply here. On each inhale, feel the spine elongate. On each exhale, feel gravity reminding you who's boss. You hold for 3 breaths, just long enough to feel your back say, "Okay, I see you. Thanks." Gently roll down one vertebra at a time. Think of it like a slinky in slow motion. Let every inch of your spine land with presence. Like a trust fall with the mat. Repeat that bridge lift 2 more times. Not because it's Instagram worthy. But because repetition tells your nervous system, hey, we're safe. We're good. Let's unwind. Now hug your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. This part? It's like giving your spine a lullaby. Fun fact, the ancient Greeks believed the spine housed psychic winds, energetic flows that could be blocked by bad posture or too much drama. You've probably got both. That's why we're here. Next, stretch your legs out long, arms overhead. Big morning style stretch. Like a cat on vacation. Flex and release your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Let your back feel that full body lengthening. Then slowly bring your knees back in and drop them both over to the right. Arms stretch out to a T or cactus arms. Head turns left. Hello, spinal twist. This isn't a wringing out the laundry twist. It's a soft spiral. Your breath moves into the spaces between ribs. Your lower back exhales like it's been holding its breath all day. Historians still argue whether spinal twists began as digestion aids or metaphysical detoxifiers. Either way, they've stuck around longer than most food trends. Bring your knees back to center. And now to the left. Head turns right. This side might feel tighter, like a door that hasn't been opened in a while. Don't force it. Just knock gently with your breath. You're not here to align your chakras unless that's your thing. You're here because your spine deserves softness. Quirky tidbit: some yoga traditions believe that twisting the spine helps wring out emotional buildup like a wet towel of stress. Not science, but oddly satisfying. Back to center. Now rock up to a seated position. Or roll to your side and push up slowly if that feels kinder. Either way, we're moving into cat-cow. Hands and knees again. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, and tilt the tailbone. This is cow pose, named after the sway of the back, not the facial expression. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, pull your belly in. This is cat pose, because you're now a Halloween decoration. Move between the two with your breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Don't rush. Each motion is like a spine massage from the inside out. And if you happen to meow quietly during cat pose, I support that. This is a judgment-free zone. Your spine is a storyteller. Every vertebra remembers something. From childhood tumbles to heartbreak to that weird time you slept on a friend's couch for 2 months. It holds it all. So give it your attention. Your breath. Your movement. Now sit back on your heels, arms resting on your thighs. Close your eyes. Stack your spine tall again. From your tailbone to the crown of your head, imagine each vertebra glowing softly. Like fairy lights, but internal. Your spine is central to everything, literally and metaphorically. It holds you upright, helps you twist, bend, breathe. And tonight, it gets to relax. Let yourself feel the aftermath, the warmth spreading up and down your back. The tingling along the sides of your torso. That low, humming sense that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to hold everything all the time. Tonight, your spine lets go. Your spine is still humming, like a harp string after a gentle pluck. Let's not interrupt that resonance just yet. Instead, we travel further down the body into the hips and thighs. That's right, the emotional basement. Where everything you didn't say during the day, every "I'm fine when you weren't" gets neatly stored. Lie back down on your mat if you are not there already. Knees bent, feet flat again. Let's ease in. Take your right ankle and gently cross it over your left knee. Classic figure 4 pose. Flex the right foot, that's your ankle's way of saying "I got this." Now, either stay here or thread your right arm through the gap between your legs, left arm around the outside, and clasp behind the left thigh. Pull gently. Feel that outer right hip stretch. That's your piriformis, a deep rotator muscle named after a pear, because apparently ancient anatomists were hungry when they worked. Historians still argue whether hip opening postures began in warrior training or in ceremonial fertility rituals. Either way, it's intense. Which makes sense, your hips hold multitudes. Breathe into the stretch. Close your eyes. Imagine that tension isn't just melting, it's slinking out through your exhales like mist. Release. Switch sides. Left ankle over right knee. This one might talk louder. Most of us favor one hip. It's okay, everyone has a bossy side. Now, both feet flat again. Let your knees fall open, soleus of the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly. Yes, it's a mouthful. But it feels like a long ah. Let your arms rest overhead or by your sides. Imagine your hips softening like warm candle wax. Fun fact: this pose is often used during labor, not for Instagram clout, but because it opens the pelvis and calms the nervous system. You're just birthing better sleep tonight. Now gently close your knees like a book and roll over to your side. Push up and find your way into pigeon pose, but gently. No yoga Olympics here. Bring your right knee forward behind your right wrist, shin angled comfortably. Slide your left leg back. Maybe use a pillow under the hip if you're feeling civilized. Fold forward. Let your chest come down. Maybe to the mat, maybe to stacked fists, maybe just hovering. This pose gets dramatic fast emotionally, too. The hips hold tension, yes, but also memories. Old heartbreaks. Long forgotten dance injuries. That awkward middle school slow dance. Historians still argue whether this pose evolved from seated meditations or from royal resting positions in early India. It definitely has a benevolent empress vibe. Stay here. 5 deep breaths. Let your exhale sink you lower. Like a sandbag settling in. Quirky tidbit: in some ancient cultures, people believed sitting in deep hip postures opened portals to dreams. So technically, this is a sci-fi pose. Now gently press back up. Switch sides. Left knee forward, right leg back. This side is a whole new personality. You'll notice it. Just observe. No judgment. It's yoga, not a Yelp review. Fold forward again. Even if you're barely bending, it counts. Your hips know you showed up. That's all they've ever wanted. After 5 breaths, come back up and swing both legs around in front. Give your knees a little bounce. They're probably wondering what's happening. Reassure them with kindness. Let's move into wide-legged seated forward fold. Spread your legs comfortably wide. Not ouch wide, just wide. Flex the toes back to keep the legs awake. Inhale tall. Exhale, fold forward between the legs. Hands on the floor, on a pillow, or reaching for your feet if they're feeling social. You're not trying to touch your head to the mat. You're trying to touch peace. That's easier, anyway. Let gravity take your torso downward. Not fast, just real. Like it means it. This opens not just the hamstrings but the inner thighs and lower back, the places where stubbornness lives. Fun fact: sumo wrestlers stretch their hips daily in poses like this before matches. Flexibility equals power, even in the ring. After a few breaths, slowly rise up. Bring the legs together, give them a gentle hug. Now lie down once more and bring your knees into your chest. This time, open them out wide, grabbing the soles of your feet from the inside or outside. Welcome to Happy Baby Pose, possibly the most honest name in yoga. Rock gently side to side. Let your spine press into the mat. Your hips are opening, your back is grounding, and yes, you look ridiculous. But also peaceful. Like a sleepy panda doing aerial work. Remember, babies are flexible because they haven't yet learned to store stress in their joints. You're just returning to that factory setting. Historians still argue whether this posture was derived from tantric rites or mimicked from actual baby movement. Either way, it's delightful. Let go. Stretch out. Legs long. Arms long. Feel the hum in your hips now. The afterglow. Like they've released a secret they've been holding for years. You're not just looser, you're lighter. And all that? That was just the hips. Your hips have whispered their goodbyes, your spine is still purring, and now, we journey into your legs. Yes, those loyal limbs that carried you through the workday, up the stairs, across sidewalks, and occasionally, let's be honest, straight into the fridge at 2 a.m. Tonight, they get their spotlight. Or at least a very dim lamp and some deep stretches. Lie down on your mat once more. Let your arms rest gently by your sides. Feel the weight of your legs melt into the floor. And then, slowly, draw your right knee into your chest. Wrap your hands around the shin or behind the thigh, whatever feels like less effort. That's our metric tonight: effort equals optional. Now extend the right leg straight up to the sky, holding the back of the thigh or calf. Don't grab your foot unless you're trying to win a flexibility contest against a flamingo. This is Supta Padangusthasana, or reclining hand to big toe pose. The name sounds like a legal firm, but it's really about giving your hamstrings some overdue affection. Flex the foot. Point it. Wiggle the toes. You've walked thousands of steps today, each one a tiny miracle of muscle memory. Now you just have to lie here and let the stretch happen. Historians still argue whether leg stretching postures like this were born from battlefield injury recovery or from early ritual dance forms. Either way, every ancient culture eventually figured out, tight legs equals cranky people. Now without losing control, let your right leg drift out to the right. Not plopped. Not dropped. Just opened. Support it on a pillow if you like. This targets the inner thigh, but it also signals, hey nervous system, we're cool here. Stay for a few breaths. Eyes soft. Jaw softer. Fun fact, in traditional Chinese medicine, the meridians running through the inner thigh are linked to emotional resilience. So yes, stretching them might just help with your next family gathering. Bring that leg back up and cross it gently over your body to the left into a twisted hamstring stretch. Keep your right shoulder anchored. This adds a little spinal rotation while you lengthen the outer hip and IT band. It's the yoga version of uncorking a bottle of stress. Slowly release and bring the leg back to center. Lower it down with care as if you are laying down the last slice of pizza. You know, reverently. Switch legs. Left knee in. Hug it. Be gentle, it's been through a lot, extend the leg up. Flex, point, breathe. Notice if this leg is more stubborn. Most of us have a favorite leg and the other one that just tags along out of loyalty. Repeat the open leg stretch. Then the twist. Every angle tells a different story. Every breath gives you a new ending. Quirky tidbit, there's a Tibetan myth about a mountain hermit who became so flexible from nightly yoga that he could scratch his own back with his toes, in a blizzard. You don't need to go that far. Unless you live in Montana. Now, both legs long again. Arms overhead. Take a big stretch like you're waking up at a spa in Tuscany. We move now into legs up the wall pose. If there's a wall nearby, scoot your mat up to it. Otherwise, prop your legs up on a couch, chair, or stack of pillows. The point is to let gravity do the work. Swing your legs up. Scoot your hips as close to the base of the wall as is comfortable. Let your arms rest out wide or on your belly. And here's the thing, you're doing nothing. You're not stretching, flexing, or aiming for an impressive shape. You're just existing, upside down. This pose, Viparita Karani, has been practiced for centuries to reverse blood flow, soothe the heart, and allegedly prolong life. Historians still argue whether it was used by monks to enter meditative states or by soldiers to recover after battle. Either way, it's got reboot energy. Breathe. The legs begin to tingle. That's circulation recalibrating. Some yogis say this pose helps drain mental fatigue from the feet upward. Others just like that it feels like cheating at self-care. Quirky detail, in some Ayurvedic texts, this pose is prescribed as a remedy for everything from anxiety to heartbreak to get this premature aging. If only they knew about deadlines. Now slowly bend your knees and roll to one side. Press yourself up and sit tall. We'll finish tonight's leg love with seated forward fold. Legs extended. Toes flexed. Spine long. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward hinging from the hips, not the spine. Grab your feet, shins, or a belt loop if it's closer. This is about surrender. Not the aggressive touch your toes or else kind. The gentle kind. The I showed up, and that's enough kind. Historians still argue whether forward folds originated as expressions of humility or introspective prayer. Either way, the gesture is clear, bowing inward. Softening outward. Breathe. Each exhale helps you fold a little deeper. Or maybe not. Doesn't matter. You're already doing it. Now slowly rise. Lay back down. Let your legs stretch long again. Feel the residual buzz like your limbs just came back from a long soak. Your legs have done enough. Now they rest. And tonight, you don't carry the weight of the world. Not in your hips. Not in your knees. Not in your ankles. Just the softness. Just the breath. You're now a little looser, a little longer, and, let's be honest, maybe even a touch smug about how relaxed your legs feel. Don't worry, it's deserved. But now we travel deeper into the mysterious, overworked, rarely thanked core. Yes, your ABS. The unsung heroes beneath the emails, the errands, the endless scrolling. Let's start gentle. Lie back on your mat, knees bent, feet flat. Place your hands on your lower belly, just to remind it you're on speaking terms. Take a deep inhale. Feel the belly rise. Exhale, let it drop. Again, inhale this time, push the breath down into your lower belly like you're inflating a sleepy balloon. We're not here to crunch or sculpt. This is not a 2004 workout DVD. Tonight is about activating the core, not bullying it. Let's begin with pelvic tilts. Inhale, arch your lower back slightly, lifting it off the mat. Exhale, press your lower back down, curling the tailbone under. It's subtle, almost like nothing's happening. But your deep core muscles are clocking in. Historians still argue whether early yogis developed these tilts to ease childbirth or to enhance seated meditation. Both sound intense. You're just doing it to sleep better. Repeat a few more times. Feel your body respond. The rhythm of breath and pelvis becomes hypnotic. It's like whispering to your spine, "We're cool now." Now bring your knees up to tabletop, shins parallel to the floor. Place your hands gently on your knees. As you inhale, keep the knees still. Exhale and lightly press your palms into your thighs as your thighs press back. You've just created isometric core engagement. That's fancy for your ABS are working without flailing around. It's like a diplomatic negotiation between limbs. Fun fact: NASA uses isometric exercises in zero gravity to maintain astronaut muscle tone. So yes, you're basically floating in space right now. Hold for a few breaths. Then release. Hug your knees to your chest and rock gently side to side. Massage that lower back. You've earned it. Now we try dead bug, worst name, best results. Knees in tabletop again, arms reaching toward the ceiling like you're surrendering, which, honestly, you kind of are. Extend your right leg forward and left arm back, hovering just above the ground. Exhale to bring them back to center. Switch sides. Do this slowly. Like underwater Tai Chi, your core stabilizes with every reach. You're not just moving, you're reprogramming. Quirky tidbit: in some medieval martial arts, warriors practiced silent core drills in candlelit chambers to improve breath control and inner strength. Sounds intense. Yours has yoga pants and ambient lighting. Now rest. Place your feet back on the mat. Let your knees fall together, feet apart, a reverse butterfly. Hands on your belly again. Now imagine a warm orb glowing in your lower abdomen. Yes, we're getting mystical. It's allowed after 9 p.m. That glow? It's your solar plexus, your energetic core in yogic philosophy. Known as Manipura, this area is associated with self-esteem, power, digestion, and the ability to not reply to that one annoying email. Breathe into it. Expand the glow. Let it soften everything from the inside out. Now bring your feet off the ground again, knees bent. Hug your arms around your shins. Tuck your chin. Rock gently up and down along your spine. Back and forth. Like a sleepy seal on a yoga mat. This is called rolling like a ball in some practices. You're massaging your spine, awakening your body's built-in calming system. Historians still argue whether this technique originated in yoga or migrated in from early European somatics. Either way, it's delightful. Now rock all the way up to seated. Cross your legs if that feels good. Sit tall. Let your hands rest gently on your knees. Inhale deeply. Exhale through your mouth with a soft sigh. Again. Now we move into seated cat-cow. Inhale, arch your spine, lifting the chest and chin. Exhale, round the back, tucking the chin. It's like your spine is having a slow-motion conversation. You don't need a mat for this one. You could do it in bed. On a couch. In a spaceship. Keep the breath linked to movement. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Let your shoulders join the party, too. Quirky tip: some old-school yogis say this movement, when practiced under the full moon, helps balance emotions. Tonight's light source might be a bedside lamp, but hey, energy's energy. Let the movement slow. Let your spine find center. Now lie back down. Stretch your arms and legs out like a starfish that just had a personal breakthrough. Your core is warm now. Not in a sore way, in a grounded, you've got this way. The kind of strength that's quiet. Stable. The strength that shows up when your flight is delayed and your coffee's cold and someone's chewing loudly nearby. That strength? You just unlocked it. Soften everything. Let the floor hold you. Let your core ungrip. You are held. You are supported. And best of all, you're not even halfway done. As your breath slows and your core rests, we turn our attention to the part of you that's been sneakily collecting tension all day: your shoulders, chest, and upper back. These are the areas you subtly tighten every time someone emails just circling back or your phone buzzes with a mysterious "we need to talk." Tonight, we uncurl the slump. We soften the armor. Begin by lying on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Extend your arms out to either side, palms up. Just notice, are your shoulders touching the mat evenly? Are they trying to sneak up toward your ears like they're bracing for bad news? Let them melt. That's your only job right now. Start with shoulder bridge prep. Inhale, press into your feet and gently lift your hips. Not to the sky, just off the ground. Exhale, lower slowly, feeling each vertebra whisper its way back to the floor. Repeat a few times. This subtle lift allows the chest to open, the collarbones to widen, and the spine to feel like it's getting gently ironed out by moonlight. Historians still argue whether backbends were used more for spiritual awakening or physical rejuvenation in early yoga texts. What we do know, lifting your heart has a way of quieting the noise inside your head. Now hug your knees into your chest. Then gently rock to one side and rise to a seated position. We're moving into seated heart opener. Kneel or sit cross-legged, whatever's comfiest. Interlace your fingers behind your back, or grab a strap or towel if that's kinder to your shoulders. Inhale and pull the hands gently down and away, lifting your chest. Your heart rises. Your shoulders roll back. Your chin lifts slightly, not into a full-on power pose, but just enough to say, yes, I am indeed the main character in this bedtime story. Hold for a few breaths. Exhale and release. Shake out your arms. Now come to tabletop pose, hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Begin, thread the needle. Inhale, sweep your right arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread it under your left arm, resting your right shoulder and cheek on the mat. Left hand can stay grounded or reach forward like you're trying to catch the last cookie. Breathe here. Feel the upper back twist and stretch. This pose, while modern in name, traces its roots back to spinal rotations described in ancient texts. It's a pose that says, let go. And maybe, let that group chat carry on without you tonight. Historians still argue whether this specific shoulder release variation emerged from yoga lineage or adapted from traditional dance form UPS. Either way, it works like chamomile for your thoracic spine. Inhale, gently unthread and return to tabletop. Switch sides. Once both shoulders have had their moment of release, come to Sphinx pose. Lie on your belly, forearms on the mat, elbows under shoulders, chest lifted. This gentle backbend reopens the chest after a day of forward folding, screen scrolling, and hunched apologies. Your heart space expands, your gaze softens. Take 5 slow breaths here. Each exhale softens something that was bracing. Each inhale is a reminder that you are allowed to take up space even when resting. Quirky note: in some ancient Egyptian imagery, the Sphinx's posture is associated with divine guardianship. Tonight, it's guarding your peace. Now lower your head and turn one cheek to the mat. Wiggle your hips like you're making space for a dreamy nap. Flip the head gently to the other cheek and repeat. This little motion? It's your nervous system exhaling. Now push back to child's pose, arms extended forward or tucked back by your sides. Let your forehead meet the mat. This is yoga's universal exhale. And here's a little trick: try placing a folded blanket or pillow under your chest, so your heart is cradled, elevated, and released at the same time. Breathe. Your upper back rounds. Your shoulders melt. Your breath fans across the mat. In traditional Japanese practices, this kind of kneeling fold symbolizes humility and reset. You're not bowing in surrender, you're bowing into softness. Take your time rising. When you do, return to a comfortable seated position. Now, let's open your arms out wide again, this time in a cactus shape. Elbows bent, fingertips up, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Exhale, soften and open the chest. Repeat slowly. No rush. No ambition. Imagine your upper body glowing softly, like a lantern in a foggy field. Gentle, grounded, essential. Lower your arms. Let them rest. Now, the finishing touch: lie back, arms out again, and do absolutely nothing. You've unraveled the tension that built up when the world asked for too much. You've reclaimed your chest, your shoulders, your breath. And it's not about perfect posture or Instagram-friendly yoga. It's about being able to sigh without resistance. To roll your shoulders back and think, yes, this is home now. As you lie there, a gentle breeze of calm settling over you, remember. You didn't have to earn rest. You just had to make space for it. You're probably feeling a little longer now. A little looser in places you forgot could even be tight. That subtle weightless feeling in your limbs? That's your nervous system dialing down like soft jazz at 2 a.m. Now we arrive at a part of the body that's often neglected until it starts screaming: your neck, jaw, and face. Tension here is like a bad roommate, silent, moody, and always around. It builds with every forced smile, every unsent reply, every moment you pretended not to care when you deeply did. So tonight, we're letting it all go without even having to make a phone call. Lie comfortably on your back. Let your head rest evenly. Just notice, is your chin lifting? Your jaw clenching? Your eyebrows auditioning for a drama series? Start with 3 soft exhales, each one like a gust of wind blowing across the surface of a lake. Now, neck rolls, but make them sleepy. Drop your chin toward your chest. Slowly roll your head to the right, letting the ear drift toward the shoulder. Then back through center, over to the left. Keep it slow. Like underwater slow. Like you may never finish this circle slow. Repeat a few times. If you hear soft crackles, it's not broken, it's just the sound of stress releasing its grip. Historians still argue whether neck stretches originated in early yogic kriyas or in ancient theatrical traditions where actors would prep their voice and face like sacred tools. Either way, your Netflix watching muscles are about to thank you. Now come back to center. Let's try lying chin tucks. With your head on the mat, inhale. As you exhale, gently press the back of your skull downward without lifting it. Think of giving yourself a double chin. Yes, we're leaning into elegance tonight. This move strengthens the neck in a way that supports your head through long naps and longer conversations with overly enthusiastic people. Do this a few times, then release. Now, open your jaw gently. Drop it like you're pretending to yawn, and then actually do it. Let the yawn come. Stretch your mouth wide and sigh it out. Fun fact: yawning is contagious for a reason. It's one of the few truly social behaviors baked into our nervous system. Even ancient cave paintings depict figures with open mouths, possibly mid-yawn. Imagine sharing that with someone across 10,000 years. Now we move into face yoga. Yes, it's real. No, you won't look dignified doing it. But you're horizontal, so who cares? Raise your eyebrows high. Hold. Then release. Squish your eyes tight. Hold. Then release. Open your mouth like a silent scream. Then close it slowly like a sleepy cat. Repeat these motions. Not because you're chasing youth but because your face deserves softness too. Next, use your fingertips to gently massage your temples. Small circles. Slow and patient, like you're trying to remember something pleasant from a dream you haven't had yet. Move down to the jaw. Place your fingers just below your ears. Feel the hinge? That's your temporomandibular joint, aka, the spot that collects tension like a thrift store collects VHS tapes. Massage down the jawline toward the chin. Then up toward the cheekbones. Feather light. You're not sculpting, you're soothing. Quirky tidbit: in some medieval beauty rituals, women believed massaging the jawline would enhance one's glow of modesty. You're not chasing modesty, you're chasing a good night's sleep. Now place one hand over your heart, one on your forehead. Breathe in. Feel the connection between your mind and body. Breathe out. Imagine that tension leaving through your fingertips. Let your hands drop. Now, roll over gently onto your side. Curl into a soft fetal position. This pose, so simple, so instinctual, carries a sense of returning. Of starting over. This isn't regression, it's restoration. Fun historical note: fetal position sleeping appears across human cultures and primate species. It's where we began. It's also how some of the deepest REM cycles are accessed. So nestle in. Place a pillow between your knees if it helps. Let your top arm rest like it's holding a teddy bear made of clouds. And now, gently shift back onto your back for a final grounding pose. Place a small, folded towel under your head if your neck still feels a little high-strung. Let your arms fall naturally to the sides. No more adjustments. No more instructions. You've softened the parts of yourself that rarely get touched because they're always bracing for the next moment. And now? There is no next moment. Just this one. This breath. This quiet. Just you, the mat, and the whisper of a fan. Let the corners of your mouth lift, just slightly. A soft smile, not for the world, not for a photo, but just to let your nervous system know it's safe here. Tonight, your face isn't a mask. It's a landscape of peace. And with each breath, it smooths, it softens, it surrenders. The next layer of release takes us somewhere unexpected: your hands and wrists. You wouldn't think these two little areas could carry so much weight, but just consider how much they do. They hold phones, type thousands of words, clutch steering wheels, open jars, fidget in meetings, and hold the hands of people who don't always deserve you. By night, they're exhausted. Stiff, twitchy, overused. And yet somehow, still ready to scroll. But not tonight. Tonight, we let go of the grip. Literally and metaphorically. Begin by lying comfortably on your back or sitting upright with support behind you. Hold your hands out in front of you and take a moment to actually see them. Notice your fingers. Are they curled slightly from habit? Your thumbs tucked in like they're always on standby? Your wrists, do they feel like they're holding up invisible tension? Let's start with some wrist rolls. Extend both arms in front of you and begin slow, deliberate circles with your wrists, first clockwise, then counterclockwise. No snapping, no speed. Think of it as stirring moonlight into tea. This motion shows up in traditional Indian dance and martial arts: fluid, intentional, expressive. Historians still argue whether these movements were spiritual offerings or warming rituals before physical feats. Either way, your wrists are worthy of that ancient care. Now move into prayer stretch. Bring your palms together at chest height in a prayer position. Keep the heels of your hands connected, and slowly lower them until you feel a soft pull in your wrists and forearms. Hold. Breathe. Ease deeper without forcing. Then flip it. Press the backs of your hands together, fingers pointing down. This reverse prayer feels awkward at first, like texting upside down, but offers a surprisingly deep stretch. Quirky tip: monks in the Shaolin tradition trained hand flexibility by carrying bowls of water with wrists bent backward to test focus and strength. You're just trying to text pain-free tomorrow. Now return your arms to your sides. Shake out your hands gently, like you're flicking off raindrops. Let them go limp. Let the tension drip off your fingertips. Move into finger waves. Start at the base of each finger and roll them inward one joint at a time, pinky to thumb, then reverse. Try to articulate each bend like a sleepy puppet doing Tai Chi. These movements are often used in traditional Chinese medicine to stimulate energy channels. And while Qi might sound mystical, the relaxation that follows is very real. Let's do some palm stretching next. Place your right hand palm up and gently pull back on each finger one by one using your left hand. Switch sides. Inhale with each stretch, exhale with each release. This simple ritual resets overused muscles and tiny joints that rarely get attention unless they're in pain. Now let's trace some tension lines. With your thumb, begin massaging the opposite palm in slow, deep circles. Then glide up each finger, stopping at the knuckles. You might find little crunchy spots. Breathe into them. These are not flaws, they're reminders that you've done things. Held on. Let go. Historians still argue whether palm pressure points originated in Ayurvedic texts or were borrowed into yoga practices later from acupressure. Whatever the origin, your palms now feel like warm bread fresh from the oven. Now that we've softened the outside, we move inward. Place both hands over your belly. Breathe into your hands. Feel the rise. The fall. No need to guide it. Your breath knows where to go. Let your fingers spread slightly. Feel the warmth of your own body beneath your palms. Try this: on the inhale, gently stretch your fingers apart like you're expanding to hold more air. On the exhale, relax completely, hands heavy, soft, surrendered. It's a small gesture. But it tells your body, we're safe now. You can let go. Now return your arms to your sides. And here comes a surprisingly soothing practice: hand mudras. Let's try Jnana Mudra. Bring the tip of your index finger to touch the tip of your thumb. Rest your hands on your thighs or by your sides. This gesture, often called the gesture of knowledge, is used in meditation to calm the mind and ground the spirit. It's subtle, quiet power. Quirky side note: some early yogis believed that mudras altered the body's energy patterns like flipping switches in a circuit. Whether it's science or symbolism, the stillness you feel is undeniable. Hold the mudra for a few breaths, then release. Now flex your fingers once more. Slowly. No tension. Just curiosity. Notice the difference? Your hands no longer feel like tools. They feel like part of you again. And tomorrow, when they reach for something, be it a toothbrush or someone's hand, they'll do so with gentleness instead of strain. For now, let them rest on your chest, or at your sides, or tucked beneath your cheek. Let your hands stop doing. They've done enough. At this point, your body has surrendered inch by inch, like a coastline retreating with the tide. So now, we journey to a place where yoga goes beyond movement into your breath. It's funny, isn't it? You've been breathing this whole time, but only now do we give it the spotlight it deserves. Breathing is your oldest rhythm, your most constant companion, and tonight it becomes your softest anchor. Get comfortable flat on your back or curled into your favorite side. If your blanket needs adjusting, do it now. If the fan's hum needs to be louder or softer, this is your moment. There's no rush. The breath will wait. Let's begin with diaphragmatic breathing. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose, sending the air downward. Let your belly rise like bread dough. Exhale gently through your mouth, allowing the belly to fall. Try not to let the chest move too much, it's the belly's time to shine. Do this for 5 slow rounds. Count them if it helps. Count sheep if it helps more. Historians still argue whether yogic breathwork, or pranayama, originated in the earliest Vedic hymns or was adapted later from ascetic practices. Either way, breathing with intention has been around longer than most empires. Now we move into box breathing, a square of calm for your nervous system. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold empty for 4. Repeat. Imagine tracing a square with your breath. Inhale up one side, hold across, exhale down, hold across the bottom. This technique is used by everyone from monks to military personnel. Yes, even Navy SEALs need bedtime rituals. Now melt into ocean breath, or Ujjayi pranayama, a name that sounds more dramatic than it feels. Inhale deeply through your nose, and as you exhale, gently constrict the back of your throat, creating a soft whispering sound. Like waves breaking far away. Like Darth Vader but sleepier. Inhale, waves rush in. Exhale, waves slide out. You are both shore and sea. Let the sound lull you. Not loud, not forced, just enough to know you're still here, still moving, even in stillness. Quirky tidbit: some early yogis believed the sound of Ujjayi breath aligned your inner vibration with that of the universe. Whether or not the universe is listening, the rhythm soothes you like a lullaby you wrote yourself. Now, release the throat constriction. Return to soft nasal breathing. Let's go even deeper with alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana. It sounds like wizardry, and maybe it is. Sit upright briefly or elevate your back with pillows. Use your right thumb to close your right nostril. Inhale slowly through the left. Close the left nostril with your ring finger. Open the right and exhale. Now inhale through the right, switch, exhale through the left. That's one cycle. Repeat for 3 to 5 rounds. This is the energetic version of balancing your tires. It calms racing thoughts, equalizes the hemispheres of the brain, and has been shown to reduce anxiety even in modern clinical studies. Historians still argue whether this practice was originally medical, mystical, or metaphorical. Either way, it works. Now come back down. Lie flat. Let your breath return to normal. Notice the rise and fall. The way each inhale feels like a gentle arrival, each exhale a quiet letting go. Let's take a moment here. Not to do anything. Just to be. You might find your breath is so soft now, it feels like it's not happening at all. That's okay. That's the body remembering how to relax without supervision. If thoughts drift in, and they will just label them thinking and return to your breath. You don't need to solve anything. No bills. No inbox. No inner dilemmas about whether to text them back. Right now, your only job is to breathe. Let your exhale grow longer. Softer. Like a string unspooling into the dark. Try this. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. Longer exhales activate your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest switch. Your inner sleepy turtle mode. Repeat a few rounds, each breath an invitation to slow time itself. Now do absolutely nothing for a few moments. Just lie there, empty and full at once. You're no longer trying to sleep. You're no longer trying to relax. You're simply breathing. And somehow, that's enough. Now that your breath is an old friend again, soft, slow, loyal, we'll take our final physical turn inward, into the realm of your spine. You've probably forgotten it was even there, hey? That quiet column of bone, muscle, and nerve that has held you up all day. Sat through awkward chairs, carried backpacks, twisted subtly to avoid that one coworker at lunch. And tonight, it wants one thing: relief. Let's begin in a reclined position, legs stretched long or knees bent, whichever feels more forgiving. We're not here to test anything. This is the after party for your skeleton. Start with a supine twist. Bend both knees and gently drop them to the right, letting your torso stay facing upward. Extend your left arm out to the side, palm facing up. Let your head fall left opposite the knees. It's the yoga version of wringing out a sponge. Only in this case, it's your nervous system being gently rinsed of stress. Hold here. Breathe deeply into the ribcage. You might feel your lower back whispering, "Oh, thank God." Fun historical note: spinal twisting poses date back to some of the earliest Hatha yoga texts, where they were said to stoke the inner fire. Historians still argue whether that fire meant digestion, spirit, or just a really spicy dinner. Switch sides. Knees left, gaze right. No rush. This is not a chore. It's a reward. Once centered, draw your knees into your chest and gently rock side to side. This Upanasana, sometimes called wind-relieving pose, no joke, is loved by babies, grandmas, and overworked desk jockeys alike. Now roll onto your right side and press yourself up slowly to seated. From here, try seated cat-cow. Place your hands on your knees. Inhale, arch the back slightly, lift the chest, gaze upward. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, lean back slightly. Repeat this movement like a sleepy slinky. You're not stretching, you're undulating. You're inviting each vertebra to remember it's not cement. Historians still argue whether this movement sequence originated from seated meditation prep or animal mimicry. Either way, your spine is grateful for the attention. Now shift into child's pose, knees wide, big toes touching, arms reaching forward. Melt your forehead to the floor or a pillow. Feel your back lengthen, decompress, and settle. Stay here as long as you like. This is your spine's happy place. No gravity. No pressure. Just breath and stillness. Fun fringe fact: some ancient yogis believed the spine held dormant energy called kundalini, coiled like a serpent at the base. Through breath and movement, this energy could rise upward, awakening the soul. Now, whether or not you're into spiritual serpents, it's safe to say your back is finally unclenching. Let's return to lying down. Settle your body flat again. Bring awareness to your spine, one part at a time. Start at the tailbone. Feel it melt into the surface beneath you. Then the sacrum, broad and flat like a quiet paddle. Then the lumbar curve, feel it soften, as if someone just turned off gravity in that one spot. Upward to the mid-back. The place that gets all the blame but none of the massages. And finally, the upper back and shoulders. They've been hunching, lifting, tensing all day. Let them fall back. Let them rest like wings after a long flight. Now draw your attention to the neck. Your cervical spine is delicate and often overlooked. Place a small pillow or rolled towel under your head if needed. Feel the natural curve return, not flat, not forced. Gently nod yes, then no, then stillness. Breathe. Let your whole spine exhale. Imagine it now as a river, long, winding, and free of blockage. Each vertebra a stepping stone, each breath a ripple across calm water. Try one last motion, pelvic tilt. Gently press the small of your back into the floor, then release. Tilt the pelvis forward and back, micro movements, barely visible, but deeply felt. It's the spinal version of tucking in a blanket. Now freeze. Let it all settle. Here's a little trick: imagine a warm light moving slowly up your spine, from tailbone to base of skull. As it rises, it melts tension like wax. Let the light pause at each place where you hold stress. Lower back. Mid-back. Between the shoulder blades. The base of your skull. Wherever it lands, breathe into it. Soften. Tomorrow, your spine will stand tall again. But tonight, it simply floats. By now, your body is a soft collection of sighs and slow rhythms. You've journeyed through the edges, fingertips, toes, even the space between your shoulder blades. But there's one more frontier, your mind. The trickiest part to quiet, isn't it? It keeps wandering back to the to-do list, the side comments, the song stuck in your head since lunch. Your body might be in savasana, but your thoughts are sprinting laps around the mental track. Let's begin where all good distractions begin, with a visualization. Close your eyes. As if they weren't already half closed. Imagine a hallway. Not sterile or spooky. This one's warm, lined with soft paper lanterns or fairy lights, depending on your aesthetic. The floor creaks gently underfoot, not from disrepair, but from memory. At the end of the hallway is a door. You walk to it slow, barefoot, no rush. The knob is warm. You open it. Inside is your mind's version of peace. A room, a forest, a rooftop under stars. Whatever your subconscious conjures first, go with that. Don't edit. Just arrive. Now breathe in that space. Feel the mental chatter quiet down, like background music being slowly faded out by a sleepy DJ. This technique-guided visualization has been practiced for thousands of years, from ancient Buddhist retreats to modern cognitive therapy rooms. Historians still argue whether it originated with religious monks or pre-verbal humans gazing into fire. Either way, it works. Now scan your body for any lingering tension. The stray shoulder shrug, the clenched jaw, the toe that insists on twitching like it's got somewhere to be. Use your exhale to smooth it away. Let's try a gentle mantra. Whisper this in your mind. Inhale, I am here. Exhale, I am safe. Repeat. Slowly. As if each word is a lullaby for your nervous system. Not dramatic. Not forced. Just steady. If the mind drifts in, it will return to that rhythm. You're not failing. You're human. Now, try progressive relaxation, the bedtime classic that outlives all sleep apps. Starting from your toes, gently squeeze and release each muscle group. Move upward: feet, calves, thighs, glutes, belly, hands, arms, shoulders, jaw, eyes. Don't tense to the max. Just enough to notice. Then release completely. This sequence helps train your body to recognize what relaxation actually feels like. You'd be surprised how many of us forget. Quirky fact: some pilots in World War II were trained in a nearly identical method to fall asleep fast during unpredictable flight schedules. If it worked in the sky, it can work in your blanket burrito. Now, settle into stillness. Absolute stillness. Feel the gravity pulling you gently into the bed, into the earth, like a sigh finally exhaled after a long day. Let's slow your breath even more. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 8. Twice as long on the out breath. Think of it like emptying a glass slowly. Don't tip it, just let it pour. Now take one deep breath, your last effort of the night. Inhale. Hold for a moment. Then exhale everything. Let go of the role of trying. You're no longer trying to stretch, to breathe, to be good at this. You're simply here. Your mind might still chirp up occasionally. That's okay. You don't have to shush it like a cranky librarian. Just nod at the thought, let it float by like a leaf on a stream, and stay in your quiet center. Now, as your breath softens, as your limbs melt into the mattress, we begin our final wind down. Everything now slows like the final notes of a lullaby, or the hush that follows snowfall. Your body, so carefully stretched and softened, no longer asks for anything. It simply receives. The air, the quiet, the promise of rest. Your breath, once shallow, once hurried, moves like silk now. Long exhales that carry away the dust of the day. Each inhale a gentle return home. The muscles that once tensed without permission now rest without instruction. Your fingers lie weightless. Your jaw hangs loose. Your belly rises and falls like it remembers what peace feels like. Even your thoughts, those persistent fireflies, have grown dim and distant. Not gone, but no longer urgent. You've let them pass without needing to catch them. In this stillness, you are whole. You've given your body what it needed, movement without pressure. Breath without rules. Rest without guilt. Here, in the quiet after yoga, sleep does not need to be summoned. It will arrive. On its own. When it's ready. And when it does, it will find you open, unraveled, and gently waiting. Let go now. Of everything. Let the night have you. Sleep well, friend.